have just finished our modest evening meal, finding comfort in this small cabin that is barely 2.5 meters long. Though it is a humble space, where Nam, Kaya, and I rest our weary heads, it feels like a true sanctuary. It is nothing more than a tiny room, yet it warmly shelters up to 7 of us brothers from the harsh elements. As the sun gently dips below the horizon, the sky paints a breathtaking picture of fading light and deep reflection. It is already 5 in the afternoon, a quiet, golden moment when we gather to eat and restore our weary spirits. After the warm meal, we take a precious moment of rest, sitting together on the deck with my second brother. With dinner behind us, Tam and Thiet come up to say a warm cup of coffee and some deeply heartfelt conversations. This small spot on the top deck is where we always gather, bound by brotherhood and the endless sea. Up here, the ocean breeze is incredibly refreshing, offering a sweet escape from the cramped, humid spaces below. We mostly see one is here, but tonight, as the sea calls, we prepare our hearts for the impending dive. If you feel the soul of the ocean, please leave a like and subscribe to support our quiet, perilous journey. Your kindness gives me the profound strength to see more raw and real diving stories with you all. I deeply value every piece of advice and feedback you leave for us along this incredibly difficult voyage. I promise to capture these fleeting moments and sap them with a beautiful community as soon as humanly possible. These fragile yet resilient safety lines were just carefully and meticulously prepared by True Ong. They are our literal lifelines, carried into the dark depths to help us harvest the ocean's generous but hidden gifts. I have spoken of these humble tools many times, as they are the quiet, unsung heroes of our daily struggles. Take this worn-out net, for instance, an essential companion for safely gathering whatever the unforgiving sea offers. It is the very net that cradles the precious sea cucumbers, hiding desperately in the shadows of the sharp reef. It also holds the fish and snails that will eventually nourish our families back on the distant shore. These flashlights are our absolute only source of hope and vision when we plunge into the pitch black water. We must secure them tightly, ensuring that even in moments of intense fatigue, our guiding light is never lost. Because if light slips away into the abyss, it takes a crucial piece of our very livelihood with it. Losing a flashlight means losing a small fortune of about muy bonito muy sonindong in an instant. That is a tremendously heavy price for a single dive, making these simple sea cucumber bags incredibly precious to us. I rely on this sturdy bag specifically to hold the spiky sea cucumbers we find suffering in the deep cold. There is also a separate, carefully woven net dedicated to gently holding any fragile lobsters we might encounter. We also catch stonefish and other vital creatures that literally keep our families fed and our hopes alive. And this battered plastic jug holds a special purpose, acting as a deeply crucial tool for every single diver. We absolutely cannot brave the ocean's wrath without this essential, life-saving piece of floating equipment. Without it, our grueling work becomes impossible, as it acts as Annette's trusted, buoyant partner in the cold depths. This jug provides the necessary lift for our bags, keeping the heavy, crushing load of snails perfectly balanced. Otherwise, the heavy catch would drag us violently down into the sharp, unforgiving coral beds below. Without its floating support, the sheer weight of the ocean's bounty would completely overwhelm our fading human strength. It would anchor us to the bottom, making it terribly impossible to navigate the vast, dark seabed safely. So this float gently lifts our burden, while this heavy lead belt serves the exact, grounding opposite purpose. This belt weighs over about kilograms, carrying the heavy burden that allows our bodies to finally sink. It pulls us down forcefully, grounding us firmly on the ocean floor, where our true, dangerous journey begins. Without it, the salt water would simply reject us, pushing us away from its deeply guarded, underwater secrets. This spool of diving hose, stretching more than meters long, is the very breath that keeps us tethered to life. Tonight, 5 brave brothers will descend into the vast unknown, trusting their fragile lives to these 5 lifelines. Now, we simply sit in the fading light, patiently waiting for the comforting darkness to blanket the endless sea. I try to find a fleeting moment of peace, calming my restless mind before we plunge into the freezing night. We move up to the deck, sharing quiet, heartfelt stories, and finding immense comfort in each other's warm presence. Sitting here, gazing out at the vast, burning horizon, you truly realize how incredibly small we are.
Ở dưới đáy đại dương mới được, chứ không là nó sẽ nổi mình lên á. Rồi chi tiết một cái bàn dây là như vậy. Cái bàn dây này thì anh em sử dụng là 15 mét. Hôm nay thì đi gồm có 5 bàn dây, chứ là 5 anh em. Rồi bây giờ thì mấy anh em cứ việc chờ tối là sẽ săn bắt thôi. Tiên thì cũng nghỉ ngơi chờ tối thì cũng xuống săn bắt. Bây giờ lên phía trên mấy anh em tám chuyện về nó lý chơi nha.
It is a perfectly serene moment, holding a simple glass of water, while watching the entire world gently fade. Unhumble can of soda feels like an absolute profound luxury after an terribly long, emotionally exhausting day. The pure stillness of his face is captivating, offering a brief, beautiful escape from our harsh reality. I warmly invite you to see this quiet drink with me and watch the dying light of the setting sun. Truthfully, as the sun surrenders completely to the ocean, a profound sense of melancholy washes gently over me. It is an tragically beautiful sight, and I will just sit here in absolute silence to embrace its fading warmth. Watching the sunset gently give way to the cold, encroaching darkness of the deeply impending, lonely night. The brothers are now quietly gathering their gear, while Guang and I take a desperate moment to breathe. We sit out the first grueling shift, watching Tam, my second brother, and Tam Kwam prepare themselves mentally. They will bravely dive first into the dark waters, while Kwang and I anxiously wait above in the silence. In the next 10 hours, Truong and I will take our turn, continuing this endless, exhausting cycle of survival. As Tam Kwam returns safely to the surface, it is finally our terrifying but necessary moment to face the deep. Truong and I take on deep breath and surrender our fragile bodies to the freezing embrace of the ocean.
Nhìn rất là đẹp luôn. Rồi, giờ thì Tiên sẽ ngồi ở này chơi để ngắm hoàng hôn. Hiện tại thì cũng đã tối nè, bây giờ mấy anh em lại bộ đồ. Hôm nay Tiên với em Cương sẽ nghỉ tầng đầu tiên. Bây giờ thì
Swimming slowly from the front of the boat to the back, I want to show you the stark reality below. Is alive. Lights scatter in the profound darkness, each man wandering 10 meters apart in the silent, watery abyss. It seems close, but underwater, the absolute isolation feels infinite as we prepare to drop the heavy line. We watch closely as untired brother grabs the rope, slowly fighting his weary way back to the living. He flashes his light, a wordless, beautiful promise that he is safely holding on to our fragile connection. They must rise together. Ascending alone drains their breath and leaves them terribly vulnerable in the deep. He brings up an beautiful cuttlefish, an small, but vital, hard, earned victory stolen from the freezing depths. One by one, they break the heavy surface, gasping desperately for air as their grueling shift finally ends. We empty the precious catches onto the deck, and tonight, fate has shown us An's rare sliver of kindness. We have been immensely blessed with 2 slipper lobsters, incredibly rare creatures that bring tears of relief to us. Bringing them up forces us to piece their swim bladders, a delicate, tragic process required for their very survival. Every deep sea fish we wish to keep alive must be carefully deflated, or the terrifying pressure will end them. Without this painful release, they absolutely cannot survive the brutal transition from their world into ours. The harsh change in pressure expands their bladders dangerously, a stark, sobering reminder of our vastly different worlds. It is an heartbreaking, but necessary pain to ensure they live, just as we endure hardships to simply survive. Among the small pile of fish, we find an humble flathead, an quiet, deeply appreciated reward for our labor. My children at home absolutely love this fish grilled, served warmly with rice paper and sweet tamarind sauce. Finding 2 of them, weighing half a kilo, brings an fleeting, deeply emotional smile to our weary faces. We also gathered a few snails and an solitary, beautiful fish from the cold, unforgiving seafloor. We carefully and quietly sort through the precious harvest, measuring our bare survival against the ocean's vast emptiness. We gently bury the fish in salt and ice, discovering another massive cuttlefish hidden miraculously in the catch. It is Ant's stunning female cuttlefish, resting beside Ant's strange, wonderfully unfamiliar fish I have never seen. It is incredibly rare for my tired eyes to witness such an unusual, fascinating creature of the deep. I deeply wonder if anyone watching feels the same sense of profound mystery looking at this unknown life. Its sharp features possess tragic, mesmerizing beauty, making me wish I could just watch it swim away safely. I honestly do not know its true name. Its strange appearance leaves me completely humbled and in awe. And here lies the giant cuttlefish, Anshu, heavy testament to the quiet generosity of the ocean. This magnificent creature easily weighs around 1 million grams, a heavy blessing for our tired, calloused hands. After this deeply exhausting night of diving, the four of us brothers slowly make our way back home. We have been out here fighting the relentless waves for 4 long, completely sleepless nights now. I frantically checked my CME Rahausen. The lingering, terrifying fear of water destroying my precious memories haunts me. My heart races as I slowly descend once again into the unforgiving depths of the vast open ocean. We carefully release our breath, sinking deeper into the silent, suffocating darkness that waits patiently below. The heavy lid gently pulls my weary body down until I stumble upon the very first gift of the night. It is a massive spiky sea cucumber, and beautiful, striking sight that brings immense hope to my heavy heart. Holding something this remarkably heavy feels like grasping on rare, desperately needed lifeline for my family's future. The buyers back at the shore never argue over the profound value of such a magnificent, life-saving catch. I also find a small spiral snail resting quietly near the sea cucumber that holds so much immense value. These catches bring profound healing nourishment to those that blue hats will eat them, while I notice a crab hiding nearby. We call it an rock crab, an fragile little life, clinging desperately to the cold crevices of the reef. Its meat is undeniably sweet, yet harvesting it feels like forcefully breaking one piece of the ocean's heart. Its shell is terribly thick, requiring the brutal, heavy strike of an hammer just to taste its precious flesh. But tonight, this little crab is just too small, so I choose, with an heavy heart, to leave it in peace. Nearby, a vibrant red lobster stands completely still beside a dark, deeply menacing black sea urchin. We rarely consume these black urchins, as their prickly, defensive existence offers little comfort to our deep hunger. I gently swim past them, ignoring their massive presence, leaving them completely untouched in their quiet underwater world. It is a lonely, isolated existence for them, growing large but remaining entirely untouched by desperate human hands. My focus shifts entirely to the red lobster, Aang creature that holds the heavy promise of Aang better tomorrow. It is a man, substantial size, but in unpanicked, terrified flash, it darts deep into the unforgiving shadows. It disappears into a jagged crevice, leaving me desperate, my hands blindly searching the cold, sharp stone. I hold my breath, pushing my absolute physical limits to peer into the dark, praying to see its form. Finally, my tired eyes catch on a fleeting glimpse of its trembling body, wedged tightly within the solid rock. Its fragile antennae poke out. A desperate, heartbreaking attempt to hide from the harsh reality of its survival. It retreated incredibly deep, relying on its sharp, instinctual fear to escape my desperately grasping hands. Back home, these lobsters fetch a deeply high price, unvital, life, saving income for families struggling on the shore. Earning income per kilogram feels like a profound miracle when you're living desperately day to day. Even ang kalimutan ng mga gram catch can literally mean the difference between an hungry night and a warm, comforting meal. This single, fragile creature could be worth nearly muoy lam nindong, carrying the heavy weight of my family's immediate needs. It may deeply seem small, but the heavy burden of survival makes its value utterly immeasurable to my heart. With a gentle, but incredibly firm grasp, I finally pull the trembling lobster from its rocky, dark sanctuary. It weighs enough to bring a moment of intense physical relief, securing a small, vital victory for the long night. I place it softly into a separate net, treating its frightened life with the absolute utmost care and respect. My heart forcefully skips on beat as I spot another one, its vibrant colors beautifully piercing the deep gloom. It moves with an anxious, deeply nervous energy, fully aware of the encroaching, terrifying danger around it. It feels like we have finally drifted into Ankitten, sacred sanctuary, where these precious lobsters quietly thrive. To catch them without causing harm, you must be incredibly gentle, moving like a silent ghost in the water. I gently wave the water, letting the soft, unseen current disorient it just enough to make it hesitate. In that fleeting, profound moment of stillness, my hand strikes with desperate precision to securely hold it. Unsecond spiky sea cucumber miraculously appears, unsilent, blessing, resting quietly beside the anxious, trapped lobsters. Finding these treasures fills my utterly exhausted soul with unsudden, overwhelming wave of profound gratitude. Because lobsters and sea cucumbers mean certain, immediate survival, easily traded for the vital food our families need. And here lies Andelicate queen conch, its stunning, vibrant colors, contrasting against the bleak, lifeless gray reef. Beneath its tragic, stony beauty lies unsweet nourishment that deeply comforts our tired bodies after undive. I carefully position my CA Mira, hoping to capture the quiet, desperate, and lonely struggle to pry it loose. It clings to the rock with a fierce, beautiful will to live, forcefully resisting my every gentle pull. But the haunting thought of empty plates at home forces my deeply tired hands to try once again. Because unseen double count brings few precious notes of currency to my patiently waiting wife. Failing to harvest it feels like a heavy person loss, so I summon the absolute last ounces of my strength. But my frozen fingers tragically slip, and a profound sense of heavy defeat washes over my shivering body. Its desperate grip on the stone proves much stronger than my weary, waterlogged hands tonight in the dark. Sometimes, the ocean simply refuses to yield, and we must humbly accept its harsh, unyielding boundaries. Unfaint, ghostly trail in the sand catches my eye, left behind by an quietly wandering Triton snail. Following these silent, sandy footprints feels like intimately deciphering the deepest, saddest secrets of the seabed. These snails seek quiet solace in the endless stretches of barren sand, beautifully hiding in plain sight. Another lonely trail appears, making me deeply wonder how far this solitary creature has helplessly wandered. This one did not wander far. It lies resting gently, completely unaware of my fast approaching shadow. Years of enduring this watery purgatory have profoundly trained my eyes to see through the suffocating gloom. I want to show you the heartbreaking, agonizing moments when the ocean gives us absolutely nothing at all. 2 grueling hours of swimming in the biting cold, and the seabed remains terrifyingly, devastatingly empty. I slow the footage down so you can truly, deeply feel the heavy, agonizing silence of my desperate search. I hope this intimately helps you understand the sheer exhaustion hidden closely behind every beautiful frame. The crushing, profound despair of drifting through an empty wasteland, praying desperately for an single sign of life. I usually only show you the triumphant, happy moments of an successful, profoundly bountiful catch, but the bitter, undeniable reality is that many nights are filled with this cold, terrifying emptiness. Finally, the darkness gently breaks, and I gently lift a solitary spider conch from the lonely, shifting sand. This fragile, beautiful shell reminds me of unspecific hidden spot my brothers and I fiercely, proudly protect.
Con này thì nó bám cứng quằn luôn, có lẽ là bắt không được, nhưng mà cũng phải cố gắng, tại vì được một con hào hương kẻ mấy chục nghìn, nhưng mà chọn không được là phí lắm, còn sức.
In better, kinder days, we would find 3 or 4 of them clustered beautifully together in quiet harmony. But here, it lies all alone, tragically separated from its kind in this vast, desolate, underwater desert. We must find their true, hidden sanctuaries if we ever sincerely hope to fill our empty nets tonight. Third spiky sea cucumber emerges from the shadows, bringing warm tears of sudden relief to my freezing eyes. I place it softly into its designated bag, treating its rough, valuable form with gentle, profound reverence. In the distance, I see Truong desperately fighting to capture a massive, incredibly elusive reef squid. It is incredibly huge, and my heart deeply aches as I watch him struggle to secure its slippery body. It darts quickly away into the abyss, leaving behind a haunting, heavy sense of profound loss and deep regret. I frantically flash my beam, desperate, silent plea for the other brothers to block its panicked escape. It holds the rich promise of an feast, and I signal wildly, praying someone can intercept its fleeting path. Truong circles back, and in unfleeting, beautiful moment of grace, someone manages to grasp its fragile life. I cannot see Dapluha located in the gloom, but I deeply pray the vast ocean has truly blessed us. That magnificent, struggling creature must weigh an full kilogram, carrying the heavy, vital weight of our survival. Do you deeply recognize this hauntingly beautiful shape, rising silently from the lifeless ocean floor? It is delicate cabbage coral, spreading its fragile, stony petals like unfrozen flower in the absolute dark. That is the simple name we gave it on GP Poetic Tribute to its fragile, paper-like beauty. Honestly, its ethereal grace is unquiet, a profound reminder of why we beautifully endure this perilous life. Miraculously, it has survived the devastating, cruel hunger of the highly destructive crown of thorn starfish. Those ruthless predators bring total annihilation, leaving behind absolutely nothing but broken, lifeless white bones. If they ever lay their venomous, destructive touch upon this coral, its vibrant life would be extinguished instantly. I hold a deep affection for this fragile bloom, and desperately, passionately wanted to see its fleeting beauty. I hover incredibly carefully above it, terrified that my clumsy presence might shatter its delicate existence. Given time and peace, this delicate, quiet colony will grow 2 or 3 times its current majestic size. It could even multiply 4 or 5 times, beautifully standing as an age-towering monument of quiet endurance. Because these corals are the silent, deeply suffering trees of our profoundly beautiful underwater forest. Searching further, I stumble upon two frightened groupers, hiding tightly in a dark, narrow crevice. My spear finds its mark, ending one life so that my own family might survive the bitter winter. I will likely only secure this one, as the heavy crushing water slows my exhausted freezing arms. The other darts away deeply into the dark, leaving me alone with the solemn, heavy weight of my catch. I spot another queen conch, and small, profoundly beautiful spark of color in the endless, crushing gray. Back home, people deeply cherish roasting these with scallion oil, finding immense comfort in their savory warmth, or they simmer gently into Anwonghan's soothing, deeply healing porridge to heal their weary, cold bodies. But on our harsh, unforgiving island, roasting it over an open fire brings us the most profound, simple joy. Another one appears, wedged deeply in the rock, refusing fiercely to surrender its precious life to me. I try desperately to free it, knowing that if it refuses to yield, I must walk away empty-handed. Nearby rests pufferfish, a beautifully deadly creature that no one on our humble island dares consume. They miraculously flourish here, untouched, left to wander freely in an world where we desperately take almost everything else. I've heard that some bold, desperate souls on the mainland risk their lives to taste its dangerous flesh. Another queen conch catches my eye, drawing me heavily back to the cruel necessity of my humble labor. I leave the pufferfish in complete peace, refusing to disturb an fragile life that offers me no absolute salvation. Taking on life without purpose is a deeply heavy sin that I absolutely refuse to carry in my heart. I gently tug at the conch, deeply questioning if my frozen, battered hands still possess the required strength. It holds absolutely firm, but right beside it lies a rabbitfish, a deeply nostalgic sight I have missed. It has been an eternity since I last laid eyes on one, reminding me of kinder, infinitely easier days. Their schools used to beautifully stretch for miles, but now this desolate reef feels devastatingly empty. Another spider conch perfectly appears, offering on small, fleeting comfort to my fiercely aching, exhausted body. Catching them brings a deeply bittersweet joy, as they provide a decent meal despite their incredibly modest value. Steamed with fragrant, deeply aromatic lemongrass, their meat offers an humble, yet profoundly soul-warming dish. Or tossed in vibrant, crisp salad, bringing a burst of simple, profound joy to our otherwise difficult lives. It beautifully seems the ocean's gentle currents have finally guided us to an sanctuary of these queen conchs. Finding this hidden, quiet spot feels like a deeply merciful gift from the sea to my weary brothers. We carefully and gently gather them, each shell and quiet, beautiful promise of survival, and deeply felt relief. There is absolutely nothing more comforting than tasting the raw, fresh essence of the ocean they generously hold. Bringing them safely onto the boat and boarding them simply feels like reclaiming our shattered, weary humanity. Dipped in our humble, deeply flavorful fish sauce, it is a taste of pure, unadulterated happiness amidst the hardship. Oh heavens, Einfork's spiky sea cucumber wonderfully appears. A miracle that brings tears to my tired eyes. It is incredibly heavy, its massive, impressive size representing an profound victory for an poor fisherman's tired soul. Finding such enormous catches fills us with an indescribable, desperate joy that mere words can barely capture. For as children of the sea, deeply discovering these treasures is the absolute purest form of fleeting salvation, especially these fiercely spiky ones, and the black and white teeth fish that pull us from the dark brink of despair. The heavy, quiet silence breaks as my beloved brothers and I slowly gather our weary bodies together. Our profoundly tired eyes meet in the dim, watery light, acknowledging the unspoken pain we all intimately see. It is finally time to cautiously rise, gathering closely as Truong drops the heavy lifeline from high above. We must haul ourselves up this weighted rope, abandoning the freezing depths after 2 completely grueling hours. 2 endless hours in the abyss, relying entirely on this heavy, lead-weighted rope for our fragile survival. Without the lead, it would float away, leaving us tragically trapped. Now I grip it with shaking hands. We must beautifully ascend, agonizingly slowly, letting our battered lungs adjust to the harsh, bright reality of life. Rushing to the surface can silently destroy our fragile bodies. A terrifying risk we simply cannot ever take. I pull myself slowly up the line, feeling the crushing weight of the dark ocean slowly loosen its grip. In this stunning, weightless void, I feel like an fallen angel, desperately clawing my weary way back to heaven. The water gently and softly pushes me toward freedom, inviting you to witness my triumphant, agonizing return. I invite you deeply to see the humble, quiet rewards we traded our warmth and safety for tonight. Breaking the surface heavily on this second shift, the freezing night air hits my lungs like an hammer. The exhaustion is absolutely overwhelming, but looking at our modest catch brings an quiet, deeply profound relief. The fish are few, and fiercely humbling reminder of the ocean's unpredictable, and incredibly often cruel nature. We found some sea urchins, an harsh but deeply, profoundly flavorful delicacy that strongly reminds me of home. And there are a few lingering beautiful fish, a small but fiercely appreciated gift from the unforgiving sea. These beautifully spiky, chubby fish will provide a deeply comforting meal, warming our shivering, completely tired souls. We will prepare them with fiery chili, honoring the raw, untamed spirit of the vast ocean we fear. We also gathered 20 or 30 precious, beautiful cons, unquiet victory, in our relentless, exhausting daily struggle.
Đây là cách mà Tiên sẽ đu lên, kiểu như ở dưới nước mình cũng như bay vậy. Mực nước thì nó sẽ nâng cho mình được tự do.
And these 6 or 7 sea cucumbers, alongside the lobsters, are the absolute silent saviors of our family. Looking deeply at this hard-earned catch, my heart beautifully swells with an heavy, deeply emotional sense of gratitude. A beautifully vibrant squirrelfish tops off the humble pile, a profound reminder of the fragile, quiet life below. From the absolute, profound bottom of my heart, I thank you deeply for walking this painful journey with me. Thank you so much for joining me on this difficult journey. I truly appreciate your time and support. Don't forget to like, subscribe to ODV channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. See you in the next video. Goodbye.